YouTube has continued to attack alternative media by demonetizing most of our videos. If you'd like to support the channel, please visit our Amazon store or our Patreon page. Links below. Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel, and we find ourselves in a bit of a pickle when discussing Donald Trump and this next crazy situation of which our president happens to find himself embroiled in. It doesn't seem to be a day at this point where something crazy involving Trump doesn't happen. At this point, I just want to start calling the term "crazy" because that's how it is. And either you want to look at that as being pro him or against him. It doesn't really matter. It's all kind of blending together at this point. But the hysteria surrounding the president and whether he's done certain things or not done certain things has reached an all-time high, especially with allegations made in the Wall Street Journal concerning a relationship he had with Stephanie Clifford, aka porn star Stormy Daniels, from, I guess you could call it an intimate encounter back in 2006, where according to sources that the Wall Street Journal has interviewed, that she had personally said that her and Trump hooked up back in 2006, and then his personal attorney, Michael Cohen, paid her $130,000 in hush money about a month before the 2016 election. Now, right around that same time, Stormy Daniels was set to appear on one of the morning talk shows to discuss the allegations, but right beforehand pulled out and never fully really gave a reason, therefore lending to the rumors that, well, yeah, her and Donald, they brown chicken, brown cow, and then he's paying her off. Now, the White House has come out and vehemently denied all of this, and Michael Cohen has come out and attacked the Wall Street Journal by essentially saying that this is the second time since 2011 that they have tried to go after Donald Trump for this particular thing, and they've tried to go after him over this story that both parties have absolutely, utterly denied. And it makes me really question kind of why, right? Like, why would they go after it again if it's been brought up 7 years ago almost, from an event that happened 12 years ago, supposedly, allegedly? Why would they bring it up now? It just kind of feels like it's a nothing burger, like it's a non-story. But even to kind of add to on top of that, Stormy Daniels herself, or I'm sorry, Stephanie Clifford, has in fact actually issued a statement, and this is what she said. To whom it may concern, I recently became aware that certain news outlets are alleging that I had a sexual and or romantic affair with Donald Trump many years ago. I am stating with complete clarity that this is absolutely false. My involvement with Donald Trump was limited to a few public appearances and nothing more. When I met Donald Trump, he was very gracious, professional, and a complete gentleman to me and everyone in my presence. Rumors that I have received hush money from Donald Trump are completely false. If indeed I did have a relationship with Donald Trump, trust me, you wouldn't be reading about it in the news, you'd be reading about it in my book. But the fact of the matter is, these stories are not true. Signed, Stormy Daniels. That's a pretty declarative statement right there. I did not have sex with this man. And if I did, you'd be reading about it in a book and clearly not in the news. That's what she's trying to tell us, which makes sense because in this day and age, salacious tell-alls are really all the rage, as evidenced by Michael Wolff's Fire and Fury having come out a week ago and still is having trouble staying on store shelves in certain locations. By the way, it's a very interesting book, and I do recommend you read it. Whether you are a hater or a supporter, it's an interesting look inside. And it focuses a lot on Bannon. So if you're not a Bannon fan, yeah, check it out. But the point here is that she essentially came out and said, no, this didn't happen. Well, not essentially, she did. She denied it. And I made a joke about that on Twitter, and people out there were saying, well, she denied it, so clearly it's not true. Well, is it? I mean, really? Can you sit there with an absolute straight face, look at the statement, and go, I 100% believe that? Because honestly, I don't. And it's not to say that I don't believe it for any kind of malicious reason, but ultimately, if she did in fact sign an NDA, this would be a way of protecting that. $130,000 for silence. Here she's kind of backing up the nothing burger concept of the story while still protecting her assets that she gained through that particular deal. Now, I don't know what she's been up to ever since she retired from being a porn star, so I have no idea what her current finances are. But $130,000, especially in this economy, does go quite a long ways. And the people out there that are still asking themselves, or trying, more or less yelling at the screen, but why would she do it? Why? Well, or why would Trump do it, I guess, is a better way of saying. Because this happens to have been from an incident in 2006. So a year post the Billy Bush tapes, the Access Hollywood famous grab her by the bush, right? And so as a result of that, Trump was still newly married to Melania. I think they were within a little over a year being married around this point. And it's entirely possible that Trump did in fact stray and hook up with Stormy. Now, we know that Trump himself likes to be a playboy. He's dated many women. He said on one occasion that he might, if his daughter wasn't his daughter, he might in fact date his daughter. I know that it was a bit more of a joke, but it's kind of creepy regardless of how you look at it. And we know that when he was married to Ivana from 1977 until 1992, he ended that relationship when he came public with his mistress, Marla Maples. So he has in fact been known as a cheater. He cheated on her with Marla Maples, at least that's what we know of. And therefore they got together, and that produced Tiffany, which is the one Trump child that will probably be the happiest of them all when this whole sad saga said and done. So looking at Trump's past behavior, looking at how we know he currently, how he was when it comes to women and it comes to fidelity, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he did in fact engage in a sexual encounter with Stormy Daniels. Not out of the realm of possibility whatsoever. And if he did in fact pay her the money, which again, big if, we don't know. According to the Wall Street Journal, they have sources that can confirm this, but they're all anonymous these days. So how much of anonymous sources can you believe? It really does boil down to your personal opinion. We can look at this through just that lens and see maybe. Now, people out there are going to criticize me as, again, bagging on Trump, or I have Trump derangement syndrome. Look, I don't care one way or the other here. This is an interesting story. It's a news report coming out and saying that the current president, a month before the election, right around the same time the Access Hollywood tapes went out there, and the fact that even people in his inner circle have said that they didn't think they were going to survive that particular event. Here's a bunch of women accusing him of sexual assault and everything else. And here's a story of a porn star that he had an encounter with back in 2006. Look, not that Trump has run on the family values package, okay? He didn't run on that platform at all, but still, to his voters, to his base, he might be seen as a bad person for cheating on Melania a year into their marriage. And also it'd be right around the time that she was pregnant with Barron. So kind of, again, given his comments on women's looks before, makes me wonder if he's just not all about the pregnant women, if he just wants nothing to do with that and moves on with his day. Again, I have no way of knowing if this is true. This is simply the news as it's presented and my take on it. You can have an entirely different thought than me, and that's entirely cool. I actually want to hear it. So go ahead and let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you think this is real news? Do you think this is fake news? Is it the Wall Street Journal? Because, I mean, hey, remember the Wall Street Journal and PewDiePie. So at this point, those guys, right? And let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. If you guys haven't already, please thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel. If you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is links below in the video description. Because I do this as my full-time job. I love what I do, and I wouldn't be here without you, whether you are a fan or a hater. Either way, you guys watch, and I appreciate that. Or if you just want to watch more content from me, you can do so right now.